toe, and then I can do an ankle over the top of it, so I won't have to worry about cutting it off. So if they're a little bit hairy, you're going to want to put some wrap around where they may have hair. Yes, pre-wrap likes to fly away. And you know, for me, for toe, I like to try and hold it on using a long horseshoe. So I just kind of, that's an anchor that we're going to close with, so you can put it on now or you can put it on in a little bit. If you don't have 1-inch tape, then you can split a roll, and you're going to put a little bit between the toes to attach something. Try to put the seam side up and the outside of the tape down so you don't chafe their toes. And you just need to have something to attach your fan to. And then you can make a fan using regular width tape. You want to go toe to heel and make an inverted V. So basically it's narrow on one end and wider on the other. You're going to attach it to the toe, and with fans I like for you to go ahead and attach one end to the body part. So again, we're taking the seam tape and putting the seam side up and then going through the toe. You don't want to put a lot through the toe. You got to be careful because you don't want to chafe the other toe. You can put a little skin loop in there for friction. And then I'm going to ask him to flex his foot, but I'm going to take his toe and I'm going to shorten it a little bit. And then make sure, yep, that's how much restriction I wanted him to have. He should be able to stand flat-footed. Now, you can either put that long horseshoe on now, or like I did earlier, because we're going to close and hold this on there, pulling up on the arch. So you're going from one horseshoe anchor to the other, overlapping the tape halfway each time. This might be a little bit more dramatic than some of the pictures in your book, but I find that it works really well. And a lot of times your tape job will want to slide off of your foot. So using this long horseshoe anchor helps hold it on. And then I tend to put a couple cross pieces on there to help stabilize this MTP joint. Okay, and if you don't have something to hold it on, he could put his foot flat on the table. And then you're just going to close foot tape jobs with a light overlap. Make sure this is on, and then you could have him stand up or spread his body weight and then just wipe it on so his metatarsals can spread. So if you don't have elastic tape in your budget to tape a tape job, you could put a toe on like that. Now you can do a combo job. Let's say he has turf toe and he normally gets his ankles taped. Then I could have put pre-wrap all the way up for the ankle tape job. Okay, so we're just going to pretend like the tape job's not there. So to put an ankle tape job on, I start at the bottom, come one through the center, throw a couple little heel locks in there, and then just work your way up the leg. I like to finish my under wrap where I'm going to start my tape. That's about 5 inches right there. 5 to 6 inches is how tall it should be. You're going to put your 2 proximal anchors on. See how we have an upward V because the leg is cone shaped. So as you move down the leg, you'll notice it a little less cone shaped. These will be less dramatic. You're going to put your stirrups on medial to lateral in most cases. So you want to wipe the tape on over here, touch part of the malleolus, make sure your stirrups come underneath the heel. And then on the outside, you're doing the same thing. I like to rip it and then put a little tension and wipe it on. You can also do equal tension. Just make sure that you wipe this piece on and you leave the same amount of tension over here as a neutral. But you need to get graded on spreading these stirrups out, coming underneath the heel in about the same spot, and then just re-angling. So your 3 stirrup pieces are in 3 different fashions. So medial to lateral. Now we need to create a base and hold those on. So this is considered a horseshoe. And your horseshoe is going to start below your malleolus. You're creating a base so your heel locks don't dig in. So you're just going to put them on. Those first 2 won't touch. It's okay. Maybe even the third one. And by the way, when you're south of that neutral cylindrical part of your leg, your V's will be shaped down. Then you'll have a piece that goes perfectly circular, and then start angling up as you close, overlapping your tape halfway each time until you have all your tape ends hanging in there. Okay, I didn't use a distal anchor, but you can. I prefer to use them because I usually have small feet. I put them on upside down. So I put them on right here and angle at the heel to make a little V, and then I don't have to worry about there's the stylo process over here. I don't have a whole piece of tape squishing the metatarsal heads. Now I'm ready for my specialty piece, so this is how I prefer these to go on, because your heel lock should steer the calcaneus, which creates medial and lateral stability. So you're going to put your tape at base up here. This is what we're calling base, and you're going to go into the arch. So you're going to go under the arch and already angling for behind the heel and back to start. And so if we do 1, 2, 3, we're going to do 3, 2, 1. So if we go under behind, now we're going to go behind and under and back to base. And you can easily add another continuous. I like to loop around with a high figure 8 piece, you know, connecting the malleoli. And then you're back to where you can go under the arch, under behind. You're hitting the calcaneus in a little triangle, trying to steer it into eversion because you're protecting inversion, and back to base. And then you're going to go behind, under. And as you're angling behind, under, if your tape's off, just back up and re-angle it. You're trying to make a perfect little triangle and steer that calcaneus into everting the foot and return back to base and tear it. And then if you need to, just look over and make sure you don't have any tape digging in. Sometimes I'll put on another one of my upside down distal anchors. And then just make sure you don't have any windows in your tape job that you can see. But that's essentially how we have an ankle for inversion or protecting inversion. If you were to do an eversion, you would just change your strips lateral to medial, but all the other steps are essentially the same. Well, gosh, Stephanie, you put your heel locks on to evert the calcaneus. Well, in theory, you could put them on going in the opposite direction. You just don't want to tilt that calcaneus too far into inversion and set them up for a secondary ankle sprain. So you can tape them on in either direction as long as you're doing them neutral. But most cases when you tape an ankle, it's for inversion or to prevent an inversion. That's the end of that one. Tape cutters?